The shareholders of MAS believe in giving that representation and including all our communities, and that's a huge part of why we have a strategy on diversity and inclusion. Diversity and inclusion was proven to make workplaces safer, happier, and more high-performing. And you have enough data today to show the stats about organizations that truly integrate D&I into the fabric of their business and how they outperform the market. The caveat here, though, is that although diversity and inclusion are tagged together, they are certainly not interchangeable terms. Diversity is about having a representation of all the unique, worldviews or stakeholders or however we want to call it, represented in your company or in your organization or in your team or whatever it is. Inclusion is how effectively do we bring their unique views into play? How effectively do we, how do we value their contributions equally? And today you can say, yes, we have diversity, but are you really being inclusive? And if you're not going to see that outperformance. So that is the hard part today, and I think that is where a lot of focus, where the narrative has shifted, and also main reasons. Beginning with the fact that these are values that are important to our shareholders. We are not a public listed company, but the shareholders of MAS believe in giving that representation and including all our communities. And that's a huge part of why we have a strategy on diversity and inclusion. Second reason it's important is that MAS Kreeda specifically, we serve a global brand that caters to billions of athletes all over the world. And their definition of athlete is anyone with a body. Okay, so it's not just someone who's an Olympic runner. It could be a Paralympic sportsman or woman. It could be just a grandma at home who wants to go walking every day, and we make their clothes, right? So that is diversity. Thirdly, because if we want to thrive in the communities that we operate in diverse communities in Sri Lanka and globally. If we want to thrive in these communities, to live with them in harmony and maximize our impact on the planet and the people, we have to have diversity. If we exclude those communities and their views and their perspectives, we cannot maximize our impact. And finally, if you take the apparel industry as a whole, the work in the apparel industry is done by women. But most leadership positions are held by men. And that's a huge issue for us at MAS, because it is the team member on the shop floor that really understands what makes our business tick, what takes us forward. And we are constantly looking for ways to ensure that her views are represented, that her needs are catered for. Because if she is not successful and she is not heard, we will not be successful. From there, we have a strategy, a social sustainability strategy that strives to push the organization to achieve a certain representation of females and a certain representation of persons with disabilities. Those are the two main focuses of our sustainability strategy. So if I talk about the female participation, we have an ambitious goal to have 30% of our leadership as females in 2025, so in a few years' time. And we have a set of strategic programs or levers that we are working on to get there. One of our main initiatives is our Women Go Beyond program. It's something that was born 15, 20 years ago. And it focuses, and it has evolved over time as this has become a strategic push for us. It focuses on four main areas: skill development, career advancement, work-life balance, and recognition. And in these four areas, what we do is to try to support females to advance their careers, to develop their skills, even outside the workplace, to become entrepreneurs in their own right, to balance their home and work through various different types of capacity building activities, from sexual health to domestic violence to financial management, and then work-related skill building. And we also recognize females who have taken that courageous step forward, who have reached the next level, who have stood out in their community or in the workplace. Alongside that, we have across the organization an annual program of sensitizing our entire leadership on diversity, accessibility, and respect, DAR, where we strive to make sure that we are giving awareness to people about the unconscious biases they carry when they make decisions in the workplace. And that is probably one of the biggest challenges to diversity and inclusion. So we have that across the board training and awareness that happens. We have a focus program on female employees. And then we have a group of experts who are called supported employee officers, who work on supporting persons with disability in their roles. So we may have visually impaired, hearing impaired, physically impaired, even those with certain mental illnesses working in the business. But they are, unlike you and me, they may need additional support. So we have designated officers who work with those PWDs to support them in their jobs. And in some cases, they have even advanced in their career. So I would say that is the gamut of what we do for diversity and inclusion at MAS, and we have some distance to go, but we are on a good journey.